you have an older dog who has started panicking when you leave the house, and you want them to regain their confidence so they don't live their last years in anxiety. But while the change that happens with age can't be reversed, and this is a fact, there are things that you can do to ease your dog's anxiety. In this video, I'm going to explain why your older dog has developed separation anxiety only now and share seven useful tips. So, what happens, many changes happen with age, but one of them is the way your dog perceives their social world. So, what happens is they attach even more to family members, and then at the same time, their tolerance for being alone decreases. And at the same time, the intolerance to stress increases. Now, being separated from you or another family member is now a stressor that didn't exist before. In other words, when your dog was younger, being alone wasn't, or being separated from you wasn't a stressor at all. But now, because they have attached more and have decreased ability to cope with being alone, so now being separated from you has become a stressor. So age, I mean, the changes that happen with age can't really be reversed. So it wouldn't be ethical of me to tell you that your older dog can regain their confidence. It might happen, but it's very unlikely. So I would prefer you to have a more realistic approach. And so now I'm going to share 7 tips with you that will help your dog navigate their last years and either anxiety free or at least with minimal anxiety. So, one thing that's very important for you to do is to satisfy their emotional needs. It's not true that if a dog acts needy, you should ignore them and that will help them. The opposite will happen when a dog needs reassurance. So he's having an emotional need at the moment. And if that emotional need isn't satisfied, anxiety will actually rise. Now, at the same time, you don't want to be giving your older dog attention all the time. So the ideal situation is for you to give them attention, reassurance when they ask for it, when they need it, but then to signal the end of the interaction. You can say, that's it, or that's all, or you can even say, that's it, like with this hand signal. Dogs are quite visual. Now, of course, they won't understand the meaning of that's all the first few times that you do it, but eventually with repetition, they will realize, hang on, I'm getting all the attention, all the love, but when mom or dad say, that's it, then it means I'm not going to get any more attention. Well, at least, not in the next couple of hours or so. Then the second tip is have a fixed routine in place. Um, Dogs like routine, they like predictability, but older dogs need it even more in order for anxiety not to rise. So, for example, it would be a mistake to sometimes feed your dog and then walk them, and other times walk them first and then feed them afterwards. That would be very, very confusing to your dog because they do need a fixed routine. They need to know what to expect. And so when I say have a fixed routine in place, I mean like feed them and walk them in the same order. Don't switch it around randomly. Try and feed them always in the same place, always at the same time. Try and take them for walks always at the same time, more or less for the same duration. Okay, just try and make life as predictable as you can for your dog. Now, during a walk, let them lead the way. and this gives them autonomy. I can give you an example of my dog. She's going to turn 15 years old, and so when I walk her, she decides where she wants to go. And sometimes we leave the house and turn left, and then she'll just stand there for 2 minutes staring into whatever, into space. And I allow her to do that. I don't force her to carry on, like let's walk. I mean, I let her observe and smell whatever she needs to. So when you let your dog lead the walk, you are giving them autonomy. You are giving them the freedom to make choices. And this freedom to make choices, to feel that they have some control over what happens to them, is also something that really helps to lower anxiety. The fourth thing I'd like to share with you is to fit them with an Adaptil collar. I know that you can get Adaptil in spray form, and in my experience, the collar is the most effective because it's there, which means that your dog is receiving the scent 24 hours a day and always at the same intensity. So it's a very even thing, okay? Then when you go out, whenever possible, take your dog with you. I know that sometimes this is something that you can't do. Like on a hot day, if you need to go out shopping, you're not going to leave your dog alone in the car, in a hot car. So it's whenever possible, take them with you, or else drop them at a familiar person's house, if going with you isn't an option. Okay. Now, let's say you really have to leave your dog alone. Then my suggestion is that you leave the following material available to them. So one of them is classical music, soft classical music. There are studies that show that classical music has a soothing, calming effect. Another thing you can do is to make available a game of treasure hunt. So take the normal dry food and mix it with some treats and just scatter it on the floor. Literally scatter it on as broad an area as you can. And so sniffing food out will actually have a calming effect. When a dog is sniffing, their nervous system calms down. And you might ask, oh, okay, but won't they see the food? Well, not really. They actually find the food by smelling it and not by seeing it, because when an object is a certain distance from your dog's face, they can't actually see it. They see everything blurred. Their vision up close isn't all that good. It's not as good as ours. And so they locate the food by using their sense of smell. And this is why a game of treasure hunt is really useful for an older dog. It's not as demanding as them having to negotiate food and get it out of a complex food dispensing toy. The treasure hunt is something that engages their sense of smell longer, and it's much more simpler for them to solve and navigate. Then the other thing that is really useful is to cover them with a weighted blanket. Now, I know that they will walk around, they're not going to spend the whole time lying down, but when old dogs are really comfortable, they actually do spend quite a bit of time lying down. So a weighted blanket is something that helps soothe anxiety because it applies an even pressure on the body, but it has to be the right weight. It can't be too light, otherwise it won't be effective, and can't be too heavy, otherwise it will make your dog too hot and uncomfortable. Ideally, the weighted blanket should weigh 10% of your dog's body weight. So, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you would like more help from us, feel free to reach out at zencanines@gmail.com. Take care.